So this is the lesson where everything we have built comes together visually. We have a web server, routes, middleware, a database with real data, and a business logic layer. Now we're going to build a Flutter web dashboard that sits on top of all of it. A real analytics dashboard with stats card, a data table, and a line chart, all pulling live data from our Serverpod bucket. Then we will build it for the web, copy it into the server, and register it with FlutterRoute so Serverpod serves it. Let's get into it. So our Flutter project already exists. It was created by the Serverpod CLI when we created our Serverpod project. It lives in app_analytics _Flutter. So the first thing we need to do is make sure it can connect to our Serverpod backend, which it can. We just open the pubspec.yum and also add our fl_chat package, so that will help us design our charts. Then we run flutterpub_get. So the app analytics client in the pubspec.num dependency is what gives us access to the generated client, the typed data classes, and the methods we built in lesson 6. The Serverpod Flutter package provides the Flutter specific Serverpod client setup, and the FL chart is one that we have just added, is a Flutter charting library we'll use to render the daily active users trend line. Now we just open lib main.dat in the lib folder in the Flutter project, and you'll see the Serverpod client is already set up by default. So the client is initialized with the Serverpod server URL. The Flutter connectivity monitor tells the client to be aware of network connectivity changes so it can handle offline scenarios gracefully. We store the client in a top level late variable so it is accessible throughout the app. In a real production app, you might inject it via a dependency injection system. But for this tutorial, the global variable keeps things clear. Great, now we're going to create a new file in our source folder called dashboard_page.dat. This widget is responsible for fetching data from the Serverpod backend and displaying the dashboard. So in this case, we do know of the presentation layer, the domain layer, the data layer, but for this tutorial, we just put everything in one class. But there isn't much to play around with because the main logic, most of the business logic is on the backend, on the server side. All we're doing is just having functions now to communicate to the server side. But ideally, it will be nice to break things this class down and have like the presentation layer, add your dependency injection, the data layer. I'll leave that to you. So our class is called the dashboard page, and rather than typing every single code here, I just added the whole UI design inside here. And what we're going to focus on is the functions that we have actually defined. So our function of load dashboard data and a function for select app, the build dashboard function, the build sidebar. So there's a lot happening here. So let me highlight the key parts. So we're using future.wait to run the two main data fetches in parallel. So this means the totals and the app summaries are fetched at the same time instead of one after the other, which cuts loading time roughly in half. We handle 3 UI states: loading error with a retry button, and the dashboard itself. The dashboard is a row, sidebar on the left, scrollable content on the right. The date range buttons in the sidebar trigger a full data reload when tapped. Okay, so we're going to experience some errors here because there's certain classes that we need that we're going to add. So the first class will be the stats card. So we're going to build a stats card widget that will handle our stats. And then we're going to have another class called the daily active users chart, which is going to display our beautiful chart based on the data that has been passed, which is of type, it's a list of type app metric. And for the stats, it's a type data dashboard totals. So we get all the totals and they're displayed beautifully. So this presentation layer or the code, you're going to access it in the GitHub repo. There's no need of typing it word by word. Then we're going to build the apps table. Remember, we have the chart, we have the stats card, and we have a table. So our class apps table is going to require a list of type app summary and also the selected app ID, so it knows what the summaries that it's providing is for which app. And that's how the interface looks like. Simple UI. So we have the entire dashboard built. Let's compile it for now the web and serve it through Serverpod instead. So we'll build the Flutter web app from inside app underscore analytics underscore Flutter by running the command flutter build web hyphen wasm. So the wasm flag enables web assembly compilation, which gives better performance and enables multi-threading in supported browsers. So it automatically falls back to JavaScript in browsers that do not support wasm. So this command will take just a few minutes. When it's finished, we build the build output is in our Flutter package in the build folder in the web folder. So we'll copy that build output to the server's web folder from the root of our project. So we can use a command or we can just manually copy it. And then now we're going to proceed to register FlutterRoute in server.dat. So we'll open our server.dat in the lib folder in our server package and add the FlutterRoute registration. So it's as simple as that. Now, there's one critical order rule here you can see. So the API routes that we designed, they must be registered before the FlutterRoute. This is because FlutterRoute mounts at the root path and uses a tail match pattern internally, which means it will match every URL including your API paths if it is registered first. So by registering the API routes first, Serverpod matches them before reaching the FlutterRoute. Now, let's restart the server and open it in our browser using the URL localhost port 8082. So we'll see that Flutter Analytics dashboard loading served by Serverpod, pulling live data from PostgreSQL, running entirely in the browser. Great. Now, let me explain what FlutterRoute is actually doing under the hood, because it is more than just serving files. When a request comes in for localhost port 8082, FlutterRoute serves index.html from the web app folder in the web directory folder. So the browser downloads it, Flutter's engine initializes, and your dashboard renders. So when a request comes in for localhost port 8082 /dashboard /settings, a path that does not correspond to a real file, FlutterRoute also serves index.html. So this is a SPA or single page application fallback behavior. Flutter's route then reads the URL in the browser and renders the right page client side. So without this fallback, refreshing the browser on any page other than the root path will give us a 404. FlutterRoute automatically sets two HTTP headers that enable wasm multi-threading. The cores, same origin and the cores require cop. So these headers are required for browsers to allow the shared array buffer, the feature that Flutter wasm uses for multi-threading rendering. And finally, FlutterRoute applies smart caching. Critical files like index.html, Flutter server, worker.js, bootstrap, they are served with no cache headers, meaning the browser always fetches the latest version after deployment. Now let's recap the lesson. So we set up the Flutter project with the Serverpod client and FL chat. Initialize the client in main.dat pointing at localhost port 8080. We built the dashboard page with proper loading and error states, parallel data fetching. You'll get to look at the code in detail in terms of the Flutter side or from the GitHub repo link below. We built our widget components, the stat cards for summary numbers, the daily active user chart for the trend line using FL chart, the apps table with row selection that triggers a chart update. We've compiled all this, the whole app with Flutter build web wasm, copied the output to the app folder in the web directory in our server package, and registered FlutterRoute in server.dat. Great. And also we've learned a little bit about the FlutterRoute. So, and we have opened our localhost port 8082 and so our live analytics dashboard. In lesson 8, we start the bonus lesson. Lesson 8 covers server-side HTML with Mustache templates, and lesson 9 serves a plain SPA. So both are quick, self-contained lessons. I show you the other two serving strategies. But having reached lesson 7, you have a grasp idea of how to use the Serverpod inbuilt web server if you're creating your dashboards or your applications with Flutter Web. Great. See you in lesson 8.